Hello and welcome to this video. The month of June has ended, and this means that we have gone 3 quarters into the DV 2022 program. And as we saw last month, the statistics of the program continue to improve, unlike what we experienced at the beginning of the fiscal year. You remember that it was around the middle of the fiscal year that things turned around in the DV 2022 program, and since that time the numbers continue to improve. There are a number of points that I would like to make concerning the DV 2022 program, but first let's consider the numbers as we usually do. This is the status of the DV 2022 program on July 4th, 2022. For those who are new to this channel, in the first column in this table we have the various regions, followed in the next column by in transit, that is the number of cases that are on their way from KCC to the various embassies, and in the column that follows we have ready, that is the number of cases that have already arrived at the various embassies and are ready for interview. Now from that column onwards, you will realize that we have two numbers in each cell. One is outside parentheses and the other is in parentheses. The number that is outside parentheses is the number of cases, and then the one that is in parentheses are the number of applicants that are in those cases. So if we take, for example, the first numbers in the column, we have 5,083, and that represents the number of cases that are at various embassies in the Africa region, and then in parentheses 10,173, that corresponds to the number of applicants that are on those 5,083 cases. After that, we have in the next column issued, that is the number of cases or applicants that have been issued visas. This is a column of interest to us, so we will return to it in a while. After that column, we have the next column that shows statistics for cases on administrative processing. And in our final column, we have the number of cases or applicants that have been refused visas in the DV 2022 program. And considering the numbers at the bottom of this column, we see that so far in the DV 2022 program, 3,520 cases have been refused visas around the world, and that amounts to 6,471 applicants. Now let's return to our column of interest, that is the column that shows the number of cases or applicants that have been issued visas. And at the top of the numbers, we have the Europe region that has a total of 10,039 visas that have been issued in the DV 2022 program, followed by the Africa region, 6,862. We have Asia in third position with 4,067 visas that have been issued. The South America region comes next with 1,141, followed by Oceania 522, and as usual, the North America region, that is the smallest region, has received only 6 visas so far in the DV 2022 program. Now at the bottom of that column, we have the total of 22,631 diversity visas that have been issued across all regions in the DV 2022 program at the end of Monday, July 4th, 2022. Now over to the cell that is just to the left of this cell, we have the total number of cases that have arrived at various embassies, and that is 24,199. Looking at that and considering that more than 2/3 of that number will be issued visas, we can say that by the time the cases that are currently at various embassies around the world have been interviewed, we will have more than 40,000 visas issued. Now that is very important because for the past 2 years, that is DV 2020 and DV 2021, there were a number of lawsuits filed against the Department of State on the basis that only few visas were issued during those programs. So with current statistics showing that more than 40,000 visas will be issued this year, we do not expect further lawsuits to come about relating to the DV 2022 program. That's the first point I would like to make. Now, the second point concerns a question that I have been asked by so many DV 2022 applicants. They usually cite their case number and they ask whether they have the chance of being scheduled for interview in the DV 2022 program. Now, you are aware that all of the regions have been made current. And with that situation, it means all DV 2022 applicants who have submitted their DS-260 have the chance of being scheduled for interview. But there are a number of things that I must point out. The first of those things, I've said that several times, having the chance of being scheduled for interview doesn't necessarily mean that you will be scheduled. There were more than 119,000 entrants selected for less than 55,000 diversity visas in the DV 2022 program. Those numbers show that at the end of the day, there will certainly be DV 2022 applicants who will not be scheduled for interview. But that is not new to the diversity visa program, because every year the number of selectees far exceeds the number of visas that are available, and that results in many of those who were selected initially not receiving one of the available diversity visas. And the next thing is, those whose embassies are not working normally have less chance of being scheduled for interview as compared to those whose embassies are working. You may have submitted your DS-260 and obviously your case may have been processed, but you need a working embassy in order for your interview to be conducted. So if your embassy is not working or is working very slowly, it's going to reduce your chances of being scheduled for interview and give advantage to those whose embassies are working. So yes, you have the chance of being scheduled for interview, but these are factors that you must take into consideration when it comes to you really being scheduled. Now, before I conclude, let me clarify that this discussion is all about DV 2022 and not DV 2023. So if you are an applicant of the DV 2023 program, that is those who were recently selected in the DV program, you may follow this discussion just for the sake of information, but do not relate the information in this video to your program. Your program will be conducted in a context quite different from that of the DV 2022 program. And so this is like all we have in today's discussion. Thanks for watching the video, and if you have questions, leave them in the comment area below, and I will see you, God willing, in the next video. Goodbye.